Evening.
Hey, guys.
How we doing?
Yeah, good. And yourself, bud?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah?
You're right.
How was your weekend?
Not as good as yours.
Hey, John, what's going on, bud?
All good here. I've had to stop work just to do this, obviously, and then I'll get back to work afterwards.
Well, hey, we appreciate you taking that time out of your day to come sit with us for a minute.
Don't mind at all. Loving it.
So, yeah, it's a pretty good weekend. Well, it was for me.
Well, obviously it was for you.
Yeah. Hey, long time coming, man. 3 years of sitting in the just sitting in the crowd most of the time, you know. And I was talking to Tony Gavin earlier today, and he was asking me how I felt about it still, and it's still kind of an emotional thing, not because it's some huge tournament or anything like that. I mean, there's only 48 people, but it is because I know when I walk through the doors when I'm on, I'm as good as anybody in that building. But it seems like tournament after tournament, I just always fall short, or I get in my own head and I'm out, in 20th place, 13th place. I mean, this year's not been as bad this season, but overall, and so this weekend, just being able to get into bracket play, really keep my composure and just grind it out, I was pretty stoked about.
It takes some doing to get right to the end. It's, I've been, the best I've done is to the final, and it's not easy, and especially now because there's some really good players.
Oh,
it's
100%.
Like a year ago, it was totally different. Now, there's so many players that have improved so much. It's
absolutely
it's getting tougher and tougher.
And I think the biggest surprise on the weekend for me, honestly, for myself, was sitting king seat in general. It's always good. It's always a good feeling sitting king seat because
it was obviously a big surprise. A big surprise to us.
Yeah, no, I no doubt in my mind. But you get that because you got that game to spare, But then all of a sudden, like, I didn't need that game, and it was crazy. I think that's what really shocked me. That I didn't need that game. Because I thought for sure, well, we're going 2 games. Let's do this. But, slow and steady.
It takes the pressure off if you've only got to win one, and it makes you've no pressure and you just play better anyway. Because I did the same in the ACO thing in the seniors, and it is amazing the difference it makes. You just think, well, I've only got to win one game. It's it just takes the pressure off big style.
Evening.
Hi,
welcome, Benjamin.
We're having a party.
Yeah, just the 4 of us.
Just hanging out.
I'm at work. I don't have beer.
I mean, I'm at home.
I'll stick with my Monster.
No, I'm on the Coke. I'm still in recovery mode following Saturday.
Oh my God! Yesterday I felt so rough all day long. Good God.
Yeah, it was quite a long day yesterday. I didn't move a lot.
I didn't either, man. I came home. I sat on that couch pretty much all daggone day. I'd get up to go eat and then kind of regret it because I'd kind of feel like, oh God, I probably should have ate that. I'm not feeling so well, but I was still so hungry.
Yeah, I suppose the one benefit of doing the events local to home is I don't have far to travel on a Sunday, which I was quite happy about, to be honest.
Mine was us stopping at Wendy's and I'm pounding like a double baconator and fries and everything else. All right, well, let's get into some results for the weekend. Let's do a little recap. Graham, this is you, bud. That's your cue.
Why are you looking at me? My results were shocking.
All right.
Nearly lost my first game to Austin.
That's all right. Ben almost lost his game to Austin too.
Yeah, I mean, I was asked specifically by the Pettit boys to mention that near miss for Mr. Davis. It was we were all cheering the boy on, and then obviously nearly did the same to me and Dale. So he had I know we didn't get a win, but he had a phenomenal day. Yesterday.
And you know what? I was the most impressed with Austin too this weekend is because as we all know, he had a bit of a meltdown at the ACO event, but he really kind of kept his composure and he didn't get overly emotional when he had a bad shot or something didn't go his way. He just kind of stuck it out, and I think that's why he ran you guys so far into y'all's matches rather than losing his cool and then every bag's off the board.
Yeah.
And them open board airmails he kept hitting.
He was pulling an ollie, huh?
Yeah.
So
my result wasn't the best. I said 2-2 in rounders, and then lost my first game of bracket. Won my next two, and then I lost. So 17th, the one place I didn't want to finish. Because now I'm out. I don't make nationals.
Yeah, you do. Because if Richard shows up, you don't.
I believe the website has been updated with rankings today.
So I am sitting 16th in standings, but because Richard won one, he automatically in national. So I'm first reserve, basically.
Can we not, if Richard does show up, can we not just get number 6, whoever in the number 16 in Graham to have a playoff to see who gets in?
Well, it's done on points, so unfortunately, you're just hoping that somebody can't make it, I suppose, to the last 16, aren't you now? Or come for the sandbagging champion and win tier 2.
Now, I won't feel confident in that either.
I haven't talked to Richard. I don't know if he'll be there. I mean, that is the same weekend as the Bavarian Open, and that's a little closer to home for him. So
he did say to us,
stunning location. It's a lot better than the train museum, I must say.
He did say to us he's glad he'd won one because he wouldn't have to come back for points. But he said that the weekend he won one, so I don't know. We assume he's going to be, but we'll reach out and try and find out nice and early so we can get that organised.
For sure. So who was everybody's, other than me winning? We know that's the biggest surprise of the weekend. We get that. What was everybody's really big surprise?
My big surprise was Richard McDonald.
Yeah.
He just played amazing all day.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I could see it coming because he's actually improved a lot over these last couple of months. And but he just stuck in there. I think the only thing that let him down near the end, he was actually getting tired.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he would have just kept putting them bags in. It was amazing on the day. I couldn't believe it.
He did have a good showing at the ACO as well, though. So,
he did. Yeah, he did. He played really well.
We say it's a surprise, but like you said, we could see it coming.
Yeah.
Every new tournament, there seems to be somebody who kind of steps up and has a little, a leap forward in terms of performance. And I mean, Josh, you've not placed that highly until this one, and then you suddenly absolutely smashed it. Those last few games were brilliant to watch. I actually felt sorry for Dan because I was like, come on, at some point he's got to get over the line. I looked at the previous season's results today when I was on the website, and he has had a lot of second places. A lot. I mean, I couldn't believe how many.
Yeah.
Going back 3 seasons.
It started at the very first one, all that time ago. Second then, and he plateaued.
Yeah. I mean, Dan was on form this weekend, and I thought, I actually, if I was to put my money on somebody in the final, it would have been Dan to double dip you. But he obviously pulled out of the bag. It's because he'd been watching him playing all day. He was definitely on form. But
I think he had 18 4-baggers. I think he was the most out of everybody. So yeah, and most points scored. Yeah, he's quite high up on all the stats as well as actually finishing where he finished. So
yeah, I have to say that Macus was he was my surprise too. We know he was a surprise because I think everybody picked you or John Wishart to be the top senior for the weekend. And here comes Richard just going, you know what? I'm not just going for top senior, man. I'm coming for the whole thing. And he played really well.
Yeah. Thing is, I don't think anything phases him mentally wise. He just keeps playing. And if, like I say, if anything gets to him, it's his tiredness with playing game after game. It starts to get to him, but mentally he's the same every game.
Yeah. I think my other big surprise on the weekend was how bad Vicky beat Ian. It's not that she beat him. It's she beat the brakes off of him. Like, she beat him bad. And I was a little surprised. I'm not going to lie.
Must have left the toilet seat up or something at home the night before.
Must have. Man.
I think the other one was Ali was looking in pretty good form, and then he came against his brother, and I don't think his brother's beaten him at club nights for weeks and months, and obviously he just...
I don't think anybody's beaten Ali at club nights for months.
No, he's been on fine form, and he's quiet in the day, which usually means his kind of head's in the game. But yeah, Nick had a storming game. I think he paid his daughter to come and wobble Ali at the right time, and took the win. And then we switched Pettit brother. We're like, come on, Nick, all the way. But no, both out pretty quickly after those games. So
I mean, you think Nick beat Ali pretty bad, and then he turned around and just waxed Jared.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, I thought then I had to play him, and I thought, well, crap, man, he's on form right now. This is going to be a tough one. And then all of a sudden, man, I don't know. I don't know what clicked with him or what, but he just kind of all of a sudden, man, kind of lost a little bit of focus. I guess.
You do. I mean, like John said about Maka, is you kind of got to win 3 or 4 big matches on the bounce at the end. So it takes a lot of like mental strength. You do get tired, and it's only so long you can kind of be up there before you have to have a bit of a bad game. So
yeah, it's a lot of adrenaline too. I mean, even in the finals, like I scored the 12-on-4 round against Danny to go up. 18-13. And then the very next round, I give up an 8-on-3 to tie it up. Like, I had so much adrenaline. And then the very next round, man, I was kind of like, oh, you're like fired up for it. So I think that's, obviously that's what separates all of us from these pros, being able to control their mental game so much better and being able to, that longevity of playing all the time and just being able to stay in it for multiple games and multiple rounds.
I started badly. I didn't start badly. I came up against people who just played a little bit better and had, always 3 losses until I just about scraped past Austin. But then I had a couple of really good games against Jeff, and also Tony Gavin. I've lost both of those relatively closely. It was the best I've played all day. So even though I finished in the usual low position, I actually was quite happy with. Yeah, I was quite happy with my day. I enjoyed all my games. They were just really had fun. I never expect to progress that far, and I obviously trying to run the tournament as well. So and the endless IT issues with tablets, but I had a good day, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Nice venue as well.
Yeah, it was a real nice venue.
Yeah, really good. Great place, that. Good having all the space and around the courts, and the centre court was really good. It was absolutely spot on, that.
Yeah, we got quite a few people off the street. Sorry, Graham.
Yeah, speaking of that, how come Nationals ain't going there and we're going to
Stratfold,
where we were? Yeah.
Because we just thought, it was very hard to get in that.
The amount of space we had there.
But Knight said, I asked Knight on Saturday, and he said it wasn't available.
No, Babington's there all day, every Saturday. So I don't know why we've managed to get this one in, but it's a real struggle to get Saturdays. It's kind of block booking out. It's all a bit political. So
I will say it did go to show that with enough space and enough boards, those tournaments don't have to last an ungodly amount of time. We were able to have 10 boards of actual competition, but then we had 5 sets of boards for people to go practice and warm up on. So when people were getting to their boards to play their matches, they weren't having to do 4 or 5 down and backs because they were cold and hadn't played in an hour. So that really helped, I think, as well.
I think. I mean, obviously, we're still experimenting a little bit, and we like Statfold, and the hope is they can kind of build an America Day event around it. If we're completely honest, so we're having to spend quite a lot of money on Statfold. We think it's a real cool venue. Lots of people sort of wandering around having a look. There's the food and drink there already. And we're hoping that they see value in kind of partnering with us over a longer term. And we're not planning to go there regularly, but like the end of season big event, it was just quite a nice different venue rather than a leisure centre. That said, Ashby, like, you know, we have a bit more, all our stuff's there. We know the people who run the place, so everyone active have been really supportive to us from the get go. So we're still playing around a little bit, but I think we've got some ideas of what next year might look like. I think we're still obviously seeing numbers a bit up and down. So we've averaged 48 per. I think 48's been our average this year. The biggest one was Bury. And the others have all been similar, but our average has been 48 this year. So we're not regularly kind of pushing at the 64 door, which is like the magic number before we have to do something different. Because 64 is the maximum we can have in one bracket. And obviously we do encourage everyone, you guys on here and anyone else out there listening, to give us some feedback about what you'd like, because me, Nick and Ali have talked a lot about next season already. Starting to sort of put some plans down, but I think one of the ideas we've got about next season is limiting the events to 64 players. So if we do get to the point where we're starting to creep over that number, but then possibly do more events. So say there's 9 qualifiers, but your score doesn't count from all of them. So if people don't want to go to all of them, they don't feel pressured. People want to play more cornhole, they can. And I don't know, something like maybe out of the 9 qualifiers, your best 5 or 6 counts towards your points. So if you have a bad one, you can erase it and go to another one. And that way.
Talking of that, will there be new point system next year?
Well, yeah, I mean, I looked at the spreadsheet with the points on. I mean, if you get to the actual number of 64, the points shoot up. I'd had somebody on drugs has put that together. I don't know where it's come from, but yeah, we'll probably have a play around with it. Again, it's for everything you do something good that suits one area. There'll be somebody else who goes, "Oh no, that hurts me because of X, Y, and Z." But yeah, we do want to have a look. We will have a look at that, but it's obviously already on the website at the start of the season, so we've just ran with it.
Yeah, because for me, it's them few brackets where, like, I can't remember what they are, but say like equal 5th and equal 7th get the same amount of points.
Yeah,
they're the ones that cause the issues for me, because I've done my own point system looking at it, like where it's all different, and there's a tiny bit of movement in people's finishing positions that are different to where they are, and I think it's partly because of that.
Yeah,
but it's closer and more attainable for someone to move up. I mean, you think nothing against Ben Shaw, but Ben Shaw had a third, a third, a fifth, and a 33rd, and before my win this weekend, going into this weekend, man, I was a lot of points behind him with a 5th and 2 13ths. You know,
there is some big steps in there, I think, isn't there, the minutes. But if you realize that, and you're looking for the next season, then that's fine.
We started looking. So the first qualifier, we were looking at that one, right? And I looked at that one specifically because I was sitting 5th. The point difference between like second, it was either second or third to my 5th, was like the same point difference between my 5th and like 20th. You know what I mean? Like third place had more points on me than I had on like people that were in 25th. And that's crazy to me. That's crazy to think that I was 2 spots behind that, but 20 spots ahead of everybody else and was down further. It's like a real crazy amount. But
yeah, and we have 48 players this weekend, I think you got 1580. If we get them to 64 players, winners getting 3,000 points. So to me, really, once you've got 48, you're in a round of 64. Some people have buys, some people don't. So you would effectively had to have won one more game at the start of getting to that king seat, and you would have had twice as many points. So that just for me isn't quite right. There's stuff like that.
You could come up with any point system that would be probably better than one we're using right now. I'm just saying.
And it was very much to encourage people to come to all the events. And like I say, for next year, if we have more events, I think we'll have a lot of them in the Midlands. Let's be honest. If we're going to do 10, we've got to think about our lives around Cornwall. But we are hoping to have a south and a north. And if the guys from Portsmouth don't want to travel up north and the guys from the north don't want to travel somewhere near Portsmouth, then that's fine. We understand. We want to continue to grow the numbers. If we can get to the point where we're regularly getting 64 at 9-10 events, sure, we'll do something different again and tier it. But I just think if we go for venues all bigger, it gets expensive for us. The bigger venues are harder. There's not as many of them. They have big sports on and they can command a lot more money than we've got, like Statfold. The cheaper smaller venues. Makes sense.
I don't think you ever really have to, depending on venue size, obviously, that always is going to come into play, but it's not that you necessarily even have to cap it. You get 70, 80 people there, let everybody play and then tier it out into a tier 1 bracket of, 48 and a tier 2 bracket of, 42 or whatever.
I guarantee you, though, if you're the man, go on, John.
If you're doing more tournaments, can we not see? We've worked out there's actually about 50 players in the north. So if you take the Scotland northeast, and then we've got 3 small clubs. At the minute, we've got about 50 players. A lot of them won't want to travel that. Well, it's not so much the travel; it's also the cost because we've got to stop down there. Realistically, we can't travel 4 hours in the morning, travel back. So a lot of them won't because they've got to travel. But if they could go to a couple of tournaments nearer, then they might be encouraged to do the travel. They'll know it's worth it. They've been to a tournament. So that's the only thing. I mean, I'm actually moving house and we're going to start another new club. And I'd say we'll probably have another 20 members there quite quickly because it's near to Carlisle. So we could have like 70 people in the north, but a lot of them don't want to travel. They don't see the value in it. You've got to get people to the tournaments, to me, for them to sort of keep going, and then they'll do the travel.
We're quite blessed with, obviously, Ashby are in the middle. We've got quite a big number of people. Bury have got a good following, so they're the 2 places that make sense. If we get to the point where we are having, at some point we'd love to have regionals. We'd love to have regional events, and then they all come together for a national, so nobody has to travel more than a couple of hours to play tournaments. But we've kind of got to grow the clubs like you're talking about at the same time as we grow the league. Because if we try and make the league massive and 10 events all over the place, they'll all be half empty at the moment. That if we have the same amount of turnout at the moment that we have this year over 10, 15 events, that they'll be half empty, if that makes sense. So we need to get more people engaged, and we're always open to suggestion of how to do that. If that's having more north and south, then we'll certainly give it a try.
But I think if we're hosting up where you are, John, I mean it's a little different because you have boards and you have good quality boards that you could set up and also use. That way, the Ashby guys aren't trying to truck 15 sets of boards all the way to you guys. And I think that's where it becomes this thing right now. And I do empathize and understand when we're talking about having to, transport 15 sets of boards. And it's about trying to get everybody on board to say, hey, if we're coming here, we're going to, Ashby, because you guys own the league. So yeah, you're going to bring your core, 8 sets of UKCL boards. John, can we get 8 of your boards, or whatever that we can all play?
Yeah. I mean, we'd probably go.
It's like y'all coming down to us. We're
10 boards
plus our boards.
We've got because our boards are a bit of a blend at the moment. So some of them are owned by UKCL and some of them are owned by Ashby Baggers. So we have got some sponsorship incoming that's going to fund 10 sets of boards that will be purely UKCL with sponsor logos on them and everything like that. That should give us a surplus of boards. So if the people that don't have the privilege of having somebody who makes boards in their club says, we want to get a club going, any chance you can help us out, we can give them 2 sets of boards. So the UKCL will have, we'll say we'll give you them until you get off the ground and get membership and get your own, and then maybe you donate them to another new club. So the idea being that as we grow in that way, we'll be able to donate some kit to anybody. There's a couple of guys in Scotland who want to get a club going. I think they were Glasgow. Didn't know there was tournaments. Don't know there's people playing. Just love the sport. So we're chatting to them. So things like that. But yeah, we're the other thing that we would love to buy, and again, it comes down to the funding. Is a little trailer with a UKCL on the back that we can, a clean, dry trailer that we can just leave our boards in and then just drive that. We don't have to. Every time we want to get our boards from Ashby, we have to go down at a time. They have to open up our store cupboard, load them into a van, move them. They do get a battering, don't they? They're not looked after. So that is plans. That's on the would like to buy, but other things are more important. Is a trailer that's branded that we can have all our boards in. So yeah, but nice new boards. Hopefully, we'll have the new boards for Statfold. We're just waiting for the actual cash to clear, so we'll be announcing that more formally at some point.
Cool. All right. Well, we kind of went off on a little bit of a tangent there.
We did.
Should we get back to doing the results of the weekend?
Sure. You lead, Josh. Go on. Who won? Can anyone remember?
No. Well, we all
Some
know
loud mouth.
The mouth won. But hey, again, big shout out to Danny. I know it's second again. I know he hates it, but I mean, there's something to be said about being in that top 3-4 people every time. It shows a level of consistency and a level of play that he has. And then obviously big shout out to Liam. I know it's not the result he wanted, but again, he's won a couple of them. Third place isn't bad. It'll get him there. And then Jared just not having quite the day he wanted, but still ended up in fourth? So.
Yeah, I think Jared had a problem because his bags got wet just before that final game. And it might have just thrown him off a little bit because he was actually playing pretty well. And in that game, he not so good, but I think he'd got his bags wet and it was probably on his mind that they were wet. Yeah. Even though he dried them, whether he did properly, I don't know.
He should have just come and borrowed my Vipers.
Yeah, he probably didn't want that bad juju on him, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think your Vipers are faulty, Graham.
I don't think they work right.
It's me who's faulty because they're widely regarded as the best version of them bags. The green 2023 ones. It's just me.
I'll tell you another good thing. I liked seeing Kieran Gedney getting a win. He's a good young kid. Super respectful, super nice kid. So I was happy for him to see him get a win. I guess his dad got a win too, I think. So I think everybody in the family got wins this weekend, and they were all pretty stoked about that. Super nice family.
It's good to see the kids doing well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. It's a shame there's not more kids, to be honest, because then it makes more of a tournament for them. If they're playing, if you did have juniors, it would be good that way because obviously kids are the future, but also bringing kids in also brings the parents in. Because if kids are playing, there's a good chance the parents are going to play. So it's.
Well, I'm working on both of my kids right now, so.
I think the hope is at one of these tournaments we have like all 4 of the juniors that have played tournaments come to one, because then we could do a little side tournament middle of the afternoon, have them all play each other and have a little mini one. But we keep having 2 of them, so there was no Cooper.
Yeah, they're on holiday.
Yeah. So if we get all of them there, we'll have a little mini juniors. So that would be nice.
All right. Well, you want to go over the results of the prop toss there, Gramuel?
Yeah. So it was Liam's PPR. It was he ended up throwing a 7.86, so it was in the 7.5 to 8 bracket. Your DPR was a 0.69, so it was the over 5. Dan's 4-bagger percentage on the day was 12%, so 10 to 15. The highest PPR out of the selection was Liam. Highest DPR out of the selection was you, Josh. The highest 4-bagger percentage out of the selection, despite the fact that I picked him and he said I jinxed him, was actually Jared. The highest placed female, this one got me in trouble for picking her, but it was Vicky. The juniors, it was a tie. And then the seniors, it was the field, thanks to Maccas. I did originally put him in the selection, and then I thought I'd mix it up, and I'd put Ben's dad down instead, took Maccas out, and then put the field, and then it was Maccas who won it. And then the bragging rights, those who might have seen the car park video, I threw the worst game of the day. I think I got 1 point, and that was Josh. And the winner, who correctly predicted 8 out of the 10, was Micah. He just got the seniors and Josh's DPR wrong. Everything else, he was spot on.
Right on.
You'll have a nice... You don't have far to send the prize now.
And Ben, we do apologize. Obviously, I was trying to stay focused, so we didn't end up running our Just Board It game.
No, I
know you wanted us to do it. We'll try to do it at nationals for sure.
Yeah, I think we had too quick of a turnaround between bracket rounds and brackets. So,
well, usually Josh is out by then. I'm really keen to do it.
Yeah.
So obviously today was
no, and that's 100%. Like normally by then I'm out and I'm like, yep, cool, man. I'll line everybody up. Let's get them going. But unfortunately, even when y'all did the airmail challenge, I think me and Daniel were in our semifinal game.
We really wanted somebody to win some money on the day, so I think we drew about. I think the first name picked out when Flo did it was my name, and I said no. Just you must have said that wrong. Go again. So she did again. I think we had 4 or 5 people before JC's name came out. He was having a rest in the car, so Ollie ML stepped up and he got one in. So there's a rollover of about 72 quid for next time for that. So any more money will go into that pot and that'll just carry on rolling. But we were only going to do like 1, maybe 2, just to try and get the pot building. But we didn't want to not pay out any money. So
no. Well, hey, what a great segue. Speaking of money, Ben, you wanted to come on because you wanted to give your opinion on or your view on this to battle my opinion. I've got John on because John also has some points in his opinion about prize payout as well.
So I've got my Trump tariff guide here, a little bit of paper with just some breakdowns of made up percentages. But this is the point, like we want to grow this sport. We're not coming in to make a quick buck. We want to grow the sport and grow the tournament and grow the cornhole sort of market and stand in the UK. And we're committed to doing that for the long term. But that is taking some investment on our part in not just cash, but a lot of time. And we all work full time and we're not slackers. But I think some people will pick a number and go, oh, we know that this venue cost 250 quid and there was nearly 60 people there and that makes a load of profit. But so I've just gone down today because I was prepping for an argument with you and just made a note of some numbers. So our monthly costs with insurance, accountants, website, social media, printing, trophies, obviously we have to pay company's house, we have to pay her cats, is £141 per month. Yeah, that's our outgoing cost. So annualised, that's 1,700 quid. So we've had 5 events this year. The average venue cost will be £550. With the cost of that and the £339.98 share, yeah, that comes as to £889.88. That is the cost of hosting one event. Now, the average number, as already mentioned, was 48. They take a little bit of money when you pay on the website. So that has generated as £910.86 per event. So that actually equates down to £20 per event or £104.90 per year total profit, which is £34.96 each for me, Nick and Ali, or £7.19 per event is our profit. So I know everybody kind of goes, oh, this event I'll pick out as a cheap one, and there was loads of people came, and there was a load of help from Bury Baggers, but that one's probably carried our final because our final is going to lose us a load of money. So there is things we're paying out. We do want to pay out. Me and Nick and Ali still argue about it, and they're more likely to actually win some money at some point than I am. It absolutely will happen, but you've just got to bear with us, I suppose, is the message from me. We want to do something, and we may well do something for finals. So rather than having regular payouts, we might do something for finals. I'll let somebody else say something, then there's a bit more I'll rant on about in a minute. Over to you guys.
So my whole point on the payout thing wasn't to say that we need 100% payouts or we need huge payouts.
Okay.
What we are talking here is a minute amount, and I understand you break down all these costs and all that stuff. I get that. And while we all appreciate and love what you're doing, and you've got the whole club, but if on terms of that, I mean, we could all just then say, all right, well, everybody just host, we'll figure it out, and everybody just throw in some money and help pay for a venue or whatever.
Sure.
What we're talking about is a minute enough to say, hey, here's at least your 20 pounds back that you paid. Or instead of that, like third place here, you get your next entry for free. You know, you win one, you get a couple entries for free or whatever on a standpoint like that, rather than even just paying out cold hard cash. But in having an incentive is in no way, shape, or form going to deter people from coming to playing, regardless if it's the same 5 people winning every time. Because that could be the same as said as, why do we do trophies then? Because only the same 5 people are winning them.
Yeah, I don't like doing trophies either. No,
I didn't care about
where's that money come from? I've just told you the year has got £140 profit for the year, and that's ignoring the money that we put in to buy the UKCL off Dan, and we obviously got some assets, but we have bought other stuff since. We've bought more cameras, we've bought more software. There's other stuff, and you're right. You can just, if somebody wants to hold an event and say I'm doing a social, but somebody's got to organise it. Somebody's got to collect money. Somebody's got to pay for the Score Holio license to do it. Somebody's got to have insurance that we have to have legally. We have to then post accounts. The actual website that we host, where everyone goes on to look at the seed. All those things have little bits of money. And when we're only doing 5 events a year, those 5 events have to cover the cost of all that, which is why we're thinking of doing more events in smaller venues that are like 4 badminton courts, because that probably will then allow us to make more money on the events, and that means we can then pay out some of it into. So we're not saying no. We're just saying, can we just catch our breath and build up? We've not got enough money in the bank account at the moment to pay for the next venue. We're having to wait for people to enter it, and we've had to say to them, can you just hold off? So that is reality. We're trying to avoid putting more money in because we want to make it viable. And if we keep having to put money in, we're gonna get fairly tired very quickly. So we absolutely will pay prize money, no doubt about it. But we're just having to kind of take stock and get there. Like I say,
I think for me it was like last season, and I realised Danny was probably running at a loss. But we had more tournaments. We had the doubles tournament. We paid in less. We only paid £10 per event, and he must have been running at a loss. There's no way he couldn't have not been. But then this year you lose all of that. You lose the prize money. You less events. It costs you more per entry, more for membership, and then all of a sudden you're losing all that. Sort of thing. So to me, I know you guys. You've obviously running this as a business, but do you not think you've got to take that loss until you build it up?
I don't think I've ever looked at business and go, shall we run this at a loss? We're running it. I don't think 20 quid. I don't think 20 quid for a day's activity is bad.
You maybe have to.
Well, I'm not going to. I'll say if it's not, because.
Hold on, Ben. You said you don't think £20 for a day's activity is mad. It's not. It's not the 20 pounds.
No.
It's the 200 miles John had to drive down to get there. The £100 in petrol.
Yeah, and I get that, but I can't make more people play cornhole everywhere. And when they do, there'll be tournaments locally. But until that day happens, we've got to travel. And if I travel north, I'm upsetting everyone in the south. If I travel, west, I'm upsetting Bury Baggers. If I go south, John's definitely not coming with his armada of people. So it's whichever way we go, we're going to upset.
If you go to France, I'm coming. Doesn't matter where you go. I'm coming. I'm not missing a tournament.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the venues. The venues. If people can find us, I know Ian definitely wants one in Lincolnshire, but he said the venue will only let us have Sunday, and it's 75 quid an hour. And I'm like, we probably need 10 hours with setup and pack down, and that's 750 quid on a Sunday. Does anybody want to play on a Sunday?
No, well, I mean, I do, but I get the point.
Truth be told, we want a full weekend.
I think that is a disadvantage we have in England, and we've talked about this on the podcast before as well. Like, you know, the Europeans and the Americans, like, there's venues everywhere to be had. In England, venues don't want to make money. If they don't know the sport, they're like, nah, we don't want it. Oh, no one's in here? We still can't give it to you at a discount. Like, they're very steadfast on this is what we're charging, period, end of. We tried to find a venue, had nobody in the venue. We're like, can we get it for 20 an hour instead of 30 just until we get some foot traffic? And they were like, no. And I'm like, so you'd rather no money than some money? And they were like, yeah. And that's just the way it went. So I get the part about the venue. My only other question would be, and this is, again, just playing devil's advocate. I like the setup. I'm going to come. I'm going to travel. I'm going to play no matter what. I don't go out on the weekends because I spend my money towards my kids' stuff or towards playing cornhole. Now, my thing is, did we really need new cameras right now? Did we really need new microphones right now? The only people watching it are the same 48 that were in the building. That's all I'm saying. Like, we're spending money, you're spending money on things that are nice to have, no doubt. Makes it a much better viewable.
None of those items.
Rewatching the finals and having updated PPR, bag in stats, all that stuff, that was great.
Yeah.
But is it something we are at a level of league yet that really needs that?
Well, we're trying to make it professional from the start because good foundations will make a strong business at the end. So, you know, me and Ali particularly will argue because I get an email every time our social media queue is empty, and I think the queuing program costs us £22.80 a month. And I've said every time I get this email, it really pisses me off because it's like a reminder that we're paying money for something. So there is a balance. So me and Ali, you'll be very unsurprised here, do fall out quite regularly about stuff like this. You know, while we're paying too much for websites, we're trying to simplify things like that. None of the actual assets we've bought are included in those numbers. That 141 quid a month was just ongoing costs that are kind of, you know, webs and like the little wooden boards. I joked with that number with the guys before that we each earned £77 from the tournament, and Nick reminded me that he spent £10 on double-sided sticky tape before he got there, which meant he was running at £3 loss for Saturday. But look, you know, I ask a load of people in our club, what do you feel about the prize money? And you can guess the ones who said, oh yeah, like Charlie Lomax, like, yeah, we should have prize money. He stands a chance to win it. But, you know, 70% of Ashby baggers aren't bothered because they know they're very unlikely to win it. And if that, I know when you asked Tony last week and he said, well, they should put the prize money up, the entrance money up, and Josh's face kind of went, no, we shouldn't do that. And I'm like, well, I think, you know, if everyone wants me to fund a prize, I'm not going to. I'll just let the people who want to come to play cornhole come and not have prizes. But you know, I went. What did I do? I went shooting with my a few friends the other week, and it was 38 quid for an hour. And you look at all those things. £20 is not bad value for the day. I think we'll probably end up scrapping membership at some point because there's loads of people now that say I want to come to an event, but I'm not a member and don't want to pay 40 quid for an event. So we might well do away with that and just bump up the entrance fees a little bit.
I didn't say no. Don't. I said that entry fees wouldn't have to rise, but if you got to raise entry fees, I'm still going to pay them. Again, I'm that exception. Like, I'm going to pay. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do all these things.
I mean,
and you know, your guys at Ashby saying,
for less games. We paid more at the ACO and got less games.
Yeah.
For the doubles alone, it was 60 quid for the doubles, and me and Ian played 4 games for 30 quid each. So,
and you know, we're trying to be impartial with those guys, so we're not trying to force you lot into paying more money. You know, we're not trying to make you pay an ACL or an ACO.
But what I'm saying, if we're prepared to pay 30 quid for 4 games and we're getting a minimum of 6, we will pay more than 20 quid a day.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would. If you said, okay, it's gonna be 25 now, there's always gonna be people that bitch and moan because they're just gonna bitch and moan. But most people are just gonna pay it. Now,
well, like you say, the big cost the big cost isn't the entrance fees; it's the travel. That is the when we stayed 2 nights in Bury St Edmunds and had multiple meals out, multiple beers, hotel. It costs us and again we all made note of those costs so we could put them against our books, but we just paid myself. So it's expensive. It is expensive to go around the company socialising and having a couple of nights away. It just is. We get that. Yeah. And the sooner we can grow the sport, the cheaper that is, because, the guys in the north can just go to northern tournaments and get enough points to qualify for the nationals. So, that's the way it's going. But it's one of the few sports where we've kind of got the most casual of casual players in the same tournament as the best 10 guys in the UK. Name another sport where you've got, Bob, who plays darts at the pub on a Wednesday night, playing with the best darts player in the world, and they've both got different objectives and they've both got different expectations. And that's what we're having to battle with here, that some people want to be the best and want a prize and want a trophy, and some people just want to throw bags.
Name another sport that doesn't have a prize pool.
Lacrosse in the UK.
At some point, there's some type of prize pool someone's winning.
I think it's such an American model, though. We don't, I've been to loads of sports where you pay to enter a tournament, you go and pay, and you get a trophy. That's like rugby sevens.
Do you not think the American model has proved itself?
No, because they've got loads of space, and they throw up a little wooden building that costs nothing, and they can pay corner. You go and find a venue, like Josh has explained, you just don't get the venues. They don't see the benefit in getting maybe some bar spend. In terms of giving up some space, and it needs a lot of space, corner, doesn't it? It does need a lot of space.
So if I find you a cheap venue in Carlisle, you'd come to Carlisle.
If you find me a cheap venue in Carlisle, we'll translate that saving from venue costs into prize money. It's just, I've just explained to you maths. I can either make a decision to lose money, and then we don't invest in the sport at all, or
to me, the important thing is actually grow it, because the bigger it grows, obviously you're going to do better and you can do more, because the more people that are playing, obviously it brings an awful lot more money into it. So if you double the amount of people that are playing, it's going to get easier.
Well, that's exactly the plan. Yeah, that's
so
exactly
surely that it's more about getting people playing. So by having a tournament up this way, you're going to get more of our players.
Can we have a wager then? So if we come to Carlisle, what number of people from north of Manchester, let's put like the M62 maybe? What's how many people north of Manchester do you think we'll go?
I would have to find out, because at the minute everyone's not even considering it. So I'd have to see who would actually come. You know what I mean? So, but I think before long there's be quite a few people up this way. It's like we're starting another club. We're also getting in touch with the schools to see if the school will do it. But once I move house next week, and that's when we're going to start moving it on. But it's hard. When you've only got the actual appeal at the minute, to me, isn't. It could be better. Rather, it is there, but it could be better, and it would be easier to encourage people to go.
What if it's more northern? You mean so?
Well, not so much the more north, things like the prize money. Also, but the other thing is things like the doubles. Taking away the doubles this season, for me, doubles is a really big part of the game to me.
Yeah,
and it's a really fun game when you're playing with a partner.
Nick wanted to tack on doubles. Nick did want to tack on doubles this one because we have more space, but I also worry that you'd have to do it over 2 days, because the same people that play singles will probably play doubles. We don't have a load of people that just play doubles or just play singles.
I think you could fit it in 1 day, as long as the venue's big enough.
But you can't have the both tournaments playing at the same time, so you've got to change the format.
Doing a 2-day where there's a few different tournaments, similar to the ACO format. That would be better for us.
Then you run that thing of how much did you pay for the venue for 1 day? Now you got to pay for it for 2 days, and
exactly that. Like we'd happily do that. We'd give up the time. We'd give the venue, but the venue then costs you double, and you know that nobody's going to pay the same for if asking for everyone for 20 quid per person to play doubles. Then everyone's going for taking the mick, And you probably don't need a whole day for doubles, but have we got enough people that would want to play quads or co-ed or the other formats? We don't just quite have the numbers to flesh it out. And when we do, that is absolutely the right idea. Well, I like doubles. I enjoyed that last year. I just think, like you say, it's finding somewhere we fitted in. We only just got through the tournament at Bury St Edmunds, and we dropped around and we round limited it, and we're only out with 15 minutes before our you're going to get locked in deadline. So I don't know. It's just, again, we've had those discussions. We want doubles. When do we fit it in without going to 2 days? We did suggest maybe a Friday night, so people come down Friday night, have a doubles that's just straight into double elim or something, and then play a Friday night and a Saturday all day. People still only have to have the one night travel if they want to. That was the other idea that we've toyed with.
But then the problem is there's too many people that wouldn't take Friday off of work to do the travel to come down.
Yeah.
No, it's a double-edged sword when you talk about trying to host more events, trying to have more events within an event, because of the venue itself. We barely got through when we hosted in Barry because the venue was so small. We could only have so many boards, and that's what I was saying. Look how much quicker we went through. Saturday at Colville, such a bigger venue.
We weren't massively far earlier, and we had the same number of courts we have at Ashby and we had at Bury. We just had more practice space and a bit more breathing room, and it didn't feel rushed. We didn't round limit it or anything. It was all, but I mean, again, Graham said that's a benefit. So Graham said he likes the fact he knows he gets at least 6 games if he doesn't win any of them.
You said we got out of Bury 15 minutes to spend, right?
Yeah.
By 5 o'clock, y'all had all the boards from the courts cleared this time.
I think it was letting that.
You're already an hour ahead.
I thought we was letting that when we finished. It was more like
I was like 5:15, and y'all had all the boards off.
We obviously cleared around you, but
that's what I'm saying. Like, so it did show that we had a lot more time.
Yeah.
Can you not start the tournaments earlier? Get started at 9 o'clock.
We could do, but some people want to. We absolutely could have done here. And again, I know at Bury they wouldn't let us into a certain time, whereas at Ashby we set up on a Friday night. Well, we did at Colville as well. We could start earlier. We didn't this time because we didn't need to. But also we find if people are travelling in the morning, again the same argument. If people don't want to stay over and they've got a 3-hour journey, if we're starting at 8:30, 9, they've got to get up insanely early to make sure they're there. So we can do. It doesn't make a difference to us, really, and I would rather go earlier, but I don't. Again, for everything I make somebody happy, I upset somebody else.
Yeah.
So, and again, anyone listening to this, please drop us an email, give me a call, have a chat. We do value the opinions, and obviously you guys are very well known in the sport, but anyone else has got any feedback?
Would you not consider like questionnaires to everybody? A bit like the ACO do after the tournament?
We could, I think at the end of the year, we'll have the votes.
To try and get a bit of feedback from everybody who's played, rather than...
We'll send out something when we do the Survey Monkey at the end of the season for all the votes. We can stick a few questions on there where people can stick the feedback in. But yeah, again, we talked to a lot of people, obviously a lot of Ashby lot come. And yeah, we kind of... It's our first year. We've had 4 tournaments, so we're learning a lot.
But don't think about it in an aspect like we all appreciate what you're doing and we think you're doing a good job. These are just little things we all think about, and we want to talk about them, and we want to understand where y'all's point of view on that is.
Yeah, I'm happy you guys are doing it because we get to play cornhole. Otherwise, we wouldn't get to play. So,
I wouldn't get to
in
play
the end. All I want to do is play cornhole. I love it. But I'm putting my input in just because somebody has to, because otherwise you 3 guys have got to, to me, you've got to listen to everybody, just get a bit of feedback and see what people think. Because in the end, the club, the UKCL is nothing without the players.
Yeah.
And, without the players, it doesn't actually exist. So.
And there is pockets of people that don't play. Obviously, you've mentioned a load of the people up north, but also like down in Cornwall, there's a load of people that play regularly. But we're finding more and more like there's one of our members, Andy Clayfield, is St Ives, and there was I don't know where he was, but there was some cornhole boards there, horrendous looking things that would just snag your bag within one throw. But
the ones on centre court.
which were on centre court. What did we have on centre court today?
The sticky ones. Remember them?
Anyone who makes boards, Gavin's the same. Oh, these boards aren't as good as mine. Should have mine.
No, it's not. It's not that. It's because the centre court boards are the slowest boards there. So you're playing on other boards all day, and then you come onto centre court, and they're way slower than any other board in there.
Now, do you?
Ironically enough, I only played on center court once, and I still managed to win. So I don't know.
Didn't you play twice? I'm sure you had your semi on there as well. So didn't you play Liam on there?
No, Daniel did. I played Daniel on court 3.
That's right.
And had to wait it
out. Did we have the blue boards there with David Wilson?
Yeah, I had to play John Wishart on those.
Yeah, the blue boards were slow as well. Yeah, the blue boards were slow.
Well, when they're all equally slow, you'll be happy with them though, right?
I'd be happy with that. I'll just use faster bags.
This is why I don't practice on my boards when I come to these events, because I know my boards are lightning compared to some of the other boards.
If you look at standards of boards, look at the ACL boards that were out, practice boards.
Yeah,
that's ACL. That's their.
Well, I know, but we've had all ours. Well, Tony does us a very solid and refinishes.
Now, but...
Yeah, they've all been resurfaced.
The ACL one's been redone.
There was one set that weren't ours. That I think Dan Lilly might have bought. I don't know. Did you bring the ACL ones?
Yeah, they're mine.
They're yours.
The ACL one's mine.
At Statfold at the finals, we should have 10 identical sets of boards. So practice boards might be a bit all over the place, but we will have 10, hopefully, identical sets of boards that will be a similar speed to the boards you played on for the final.
I mean, in the end, the boards are all the same for everybody, but it is a bit odd, if you've not played on centre court and you come on. Because I could see that Danny was struggling with it, the way he plays, and that's probably part of the reason he let somebody beat him. But
I beat him on some boards too.
We'll have 10 hopefully completely similar sets of boards.
Look, I've been having to design faster bags just for them boards.
I look at it like this though. We can talk about board speed all day long, but you want to be the best, you got to be able to just go throw on any set of boards out there.
Similarly with bags, I mean, I've got a sports technology degree, and they hit, golf balls with golf bats golf clubs made over the centuries, and they get better at making the sweet spot bigger. But if you get it in the middle of the sweet spot, there's not much difference. And like I say, if you're good enough at cornhole, you pick up any bags and you're still good. Whereas I can spend whatever I want on bags and I'll still be rubbish. So I don't. I swapped bags halfway through the tournament, which did improve, but still not enough. I didn't get the slow boards, unfortunately.
I played on a number of different boards on Saturday, and all of them play a little bit different. The first season, or even the beginning of the second season, we had boards that you would be throwing down on one side, and it'd be like sandpaper, sticky as hell. You're coming back on the other side. That same throw is going into the next county.
I think we've still got the ones that
within the same set of boards. Not just, this set is slower than this set. It was this one board in this set is really slow. This one board in that same set is really fast.
The first loads of boards we had at Ashby Baggers were all homemade, and we thought we'd done a really good job. And then we've not used them since, I don't think, because you don't realise until you get to.
I'm more thinking about, you guys are obviously putting out money for these new boards, but are they going to last?
Well, then what we all plan to do to them, hopefully, yeah. I mean, we've got a 2 year. Sorry.
Can we ask who's making them?
You can ask. I'm not going to tell you. But
you can't tell us who's supplying you with boards?
Well, we've just got things going on behind the scenes, but I'm sure you'll all work it out when you see them. It's the same people who made the UKCL boards that were on the final.
Okay.
We're relaunching the Wheel of Cornwall site.
Isn't it? It's Wickedwood, so
it rhymes with Wicked Woods, yeah. It's Tom. The
15 mil tops instead of 18, and it's
they're Without spending the 500 quid per set for the very, very premium ACL boards that come off the line, they're the best ones we can get from there. Yeah. They're the ones. I can't remember. There's multiple levels. We've got some of the cheap rec ones, and we wouldn't ever bring them to tournament. They're good for garden parties and amateurs, but no, we're quite happy with the ones. We've used them loads at club night. They're about the fourth, fifth set we've ordered. So yeah, they're the ones we're going to have with with sponsors logos on them, but they'll all be the same. They'll all be coming in one batch, so they should all play the same.
I look forward to that. I'm ready. I'm ready for national. I'm ready to go, man. I'm like John over here. I want to play every weekend, all the time.
To be fair, I put in our club night for the Ashby Baggers this morning. I was like, does everyone want to play like competitive? Is everyone in the zone, or does everyone just want to chill? And everyone's like, oh, let's go a bit chill this week. I was like, so I think we're doing
If you want competitive, go to Manchester. Dan does not switch off. When I do go, everyone else, we're all dicking around, having a laugh, and then Dan is still just locked in, dead serious, like it is still a UKCL final.
I mean, when we get to a tournament, you get to the business end, everyone wants to win. Of course they do. But I think we're doing a split switch tomorrow night. So switch Holio, but you have the top half and the bottom half of the club paired together. So should make it a bit better. But yeah, that's a new one for us. We've not tried that before.
I think we got like 3 finals games to like complete, because we get so in our club night we're very time limited, so we have like the last 3 weeks all the finals to be played. 2 of them I'm in, so it's like me and JC for one of them, me and Alex for one of them, and then Alex and JC for one of them.
Who does your scoreholio on your who sets up the tournaments?
Any one of us, because we paid the admin one, so usually it's either Ollie or Simon. But
we obviously have a little bit of competition to come up with the funniest name, and yours is always like Tuesday Night Bags. So can we have a little bit more ingenuity? You're I'm sure there's some people with sense of humour can work on.
Yeah,
I think tomorrow we've got Chill Bags and Chimwags is our title.
I don't even know if ours has been set up yet. I don't really.
We care more about that than the format. You see, the name of the tournament. It's usually me, Tom Allen, and John Wishart sorting out.
I just want to get there and throw bags all the time. That's it. That's all I want to do all the daggum time. So you host 10 tournaments next year. You can put them anywhere in England, and I'm fucking going to be there.
Okay, deal.
Unless it coincides with like a good ACL tournament. I'm not.
Well, that's the thing. We've tried to avoid when they're over here, but they do quite last minute. So obviously we don't want to. We're not going to kind of make loads of allowances for them, but we also don't want to put a tournament on the same day, because there's only so many players in the UK and they want to play in all of them. And again, with the travel, if we put a tournament 2 weekends apart and everyone's going to. We are trying to be nice to the membership and sort of consider travel. It's just tough, isn't it?
It was a real struggle for me, and if I wouldn't have won this weekend, man, it very potentially could have been I wasn't going to be at nationals. I was going to go to the Bavarian Open,
right?
Because they're playing at a castle, and one of their club members is a tattoo artist, and I'm like, well, that's pretty awesome. But then I went out and won one, so now I've got to go to the nationals.
Yeah, well, I think the nationals is quite nice for that second tier of player as well, because the guys that don't usually perceive they have a chance of winning something, that kind of middle rung, have got a really nice opportunity with 16 of the best players not there, to have a nice tournament where there's a reasonable chance of getting somewhere. So it's a quite an enjoyable one for the rest of the field as well.
You say that, but man, that number 17 to 24 this weekend, man, a few of those guys were up in the top 2. I think ideally your goal would be to have the top 32 for nationals, like you grow that much where those top 32 players are.
Yeah, I think that's fair as well. I think that's if we get much bigger, you got to do that. Certainly, if you get in events that haven't got the same players at them, because you might then look back and go, well, he got lucky there. He got a fifth finish without these 5 players there. So yeah, no, I think again we've just stuck with the format that we set out at the start. We're going to have to do
the 16 is
flexible.
right the way we are, definitely, because otherwise, what have you been working for in the qualifiers? That's so to get it down to that was, to me, is right. Unless you've got bigger numbers, then
Yeah. I mean, really, you've played all season to get seeded in a pool play, which then seeds you for a double elim. So it's kind of a way of sectioning you again. But I think that the same format as last year. So there'll be 4 pools of 4. You all play each other. That seeds you for a double elim is the plan.
Hold on. Say that again. For nationals, what are we doing?
Yeah, there'll be 4 pools. So it'll be seeded in pools. So Liam will be in pool
So you'll
A.
have your 1, 8, 9, 16 in one. Pool.
Yeah. Exactly
basically, if I do manage to get in as first reserve, if someone drops out, I'm getting spanked by Liam first game.
Yeah.
So you're gonna do four pools, and then that'll be 3 games each just in that pool.
Yep.
That's what we did last year, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, because my group last year was Josh, Ali, and Adam.
Yeah, we'll have to see, because I think I've already created that tournament and we start sharing them. So yeah, that 16 is with Liam. But yeah, that's the format.
I'm just trying to figure out what people, because if I'm because I'd be in Group C.
Do you want to tell you? I've got it. I can find it somewhere if you really want to know.
Because it's just a weird...
Ali, Benshaw, Mark Pallet, Battle of the Ashby Baggers with you, Josh. You've got Alistair, Ben, and Mark Pallet. Benshaw and Mark Pallet.
He said he wanted revenge on Ben for beating you in rounders.
I used my brand new.
You said you wanted to get that one back.
I wanted it back because I wanted to play with some bags that were actually broken in and see if it would change. It may have not. He may have still kicked the crap out of me. But I played with bags that weren't broken. And then, I switched out bags after that. And then we see what actually happened when you're playing with. And y'all all know this. It's not like we're all inexperienced players here and it doesn't matter what bags you're throwing. You know the difference between a bag that's broken and a bag that isn't. I mean, it's just, it is what it is. And I've been kind of warming up with them, and I thought, well, they'll probably be all right. Let me have a throw of them. And they were not. Don't kid yourself. Ben was still throwing really good, and he just waxed me. But, yeah. So, no, it's all right, man. We'll get our 3 pool matches, and then I guess for me, it's kind of a weird one because I don't see how you can actually seed people. Because if for example, if all of us at the top of the table, 1 through 4, how are you seeding that after that? Because you're going to go on point differential, but the problem is Liam got to play the number 16 dude as well.
Yeah, but they earned that.
I had to play 3. I had to play
that's how it works.
He's earned that from having the best result of the season. He should have the easiest easiest run.
So what? Because it works like just as a normal bracket is how your seedings go to be grouped. So one gets 1, 8, 9, 16, then it's 2, 7, 10, 15, 3, 6, 11, 14.
Then seed out
4, 5, 12, 13. It's just how normal.
Standings, and then just do 3 rounds of open pool play. Play whoever you get. And just seed out the tournament based on final standings.
Take it into account for next year. I'm sending the Ashby Baggers to attack you, Josh.
It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, to win it all, you got to beat all of them anyway.
Yeah, you have.
I mean, it shouldn't matter to you, Josh, because surely you can beat anybody now anyway.
I'm not going to say that, but on that day, I could.
Did you play me this tournament?
Didn't have to.
You didn't. No, you
didn't. Unfortunately, by the time we got to where we would have played, you were already out.
Oh, yeah, I was, yeah. Liam knocked me out again. One day, I swear I'm going to beat him.
Yeah.
21-19. I couldn't believe it. The closest I've been, and he still did it. He's some guy.
John, you always have good matches.
I got to 19 all against Tony Gavin, and I think I got all my bags in, and he just needed to hit the board of his last one for me to win, and he got it in the hole, and then...
You mean he needed to just board it?
Well, yeah, but he didn't. He got it in the hole because he's consistent like that, and then I just lost it the next end. I was like, oh, so close. But that was a good fun game.
All right. What else anybody got?
I'm all out of notes, I think.
Anything else? Hey, while we're on here, let's just go ahead and give a shout out to the ladies again. They did a fantastic job of hosting the concessions per the usual. Emma, Kirsty, Janine, y'all are fabulous. Y'all are smashing it out there. Let's also say, I finally got to meet Ben's son, and that dude is a giant. I think I'm pretty sure I came up to his belly button.
He liked you. He said, "Oh, that loud American was lovely."
That dude's so tall, man. Jesus Christ! But he's also skinny as hell, and I feel like a stiff breeze might blow him over.
Yeah. He's put on a bit of timber, believe it or not. But yeah, he's he's a good.
He's definitely not robust like his father.
Yeah, that's what I used to look like before I got married and got contented.
No, it was good. It was good, and the ladies did a fantastic job again. Thank you, guys.
We're always a bit 50-50 with food. We do make a little bit of money off it, but we're not bothered if the venues say no, you're not allowed to bring stuff. We'd happily leave them to do it. At Statfold, it's one less thing to worry about because they have a bar there. But yeah, I think we had jack potatoes a couple of times. It's one of these little things, but if anyone wants something differently, let us know.
Dude, I drink so much beer, man. Whatever food y'all got, I'm just gonna eat.
Yeah.
And I'm fat, so you know I'm gonna eat no matter what.
Yeah.
I hardly eat it on a tournament day. I don't know why. It must be because I'm a pure athlete, I suppose. You know, I don't need the food.
When you were saying about
you're the epitome of pro athlete.
You said about Macca's getting tired. I'm pretty sure he just drinks all day, and then that's what it is. It's not tiredness. It's called drunkenness.
To be honest, it normally does, but he did. I don't think he did.
Was he driving?
He only had one beer, I think, that I saw.
No, that's probably so well.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he did so well.
Maybe.
Although I mean, doing well or doing bad, man, I'm going to drink about the same amount of beers. A cup gets filled up at 9:30 and it doesn't stop until it's over.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's good fun day again.
For sure. Well done again, guys. Seriously, Ben. I know we give you shit and we're talking about the prize pool and all that. Don't think it's because we don't appreciate what you guys are doing for us.
Feedback's a gift. We do want it, and like I say, the three of us don't agree half the time, so I'm not surprised that with more people's opinions, there's going to be different ones. But yeah, we do appreciate the feedback. I'm just the most. I think they think I'm the most argumentative whilst remaining cool because they can both just they're quite grumpy, those Petit boys sometimes. They seem the calm ones.
Crazy because their mother is the most lovely woman ever.
I know. Let's figure that out. Yeah.
Pauline's
and the wives as well. And the wives.
She's been giving me so much just stick for not being loud. She said I wasn't loud enough on Saturday. So I tried to be loud, but she said I wasn't loud enough. So, Pauline, if you're listening, Nationals, I got you. I'm gonna be way louder.
Just bring a megaphone as if you needed it. Yeah. I think if people are looking for cheap accommodation at the finals, I think they do offer camping at Statfold as well. So everyone can just bring some caravans and tents and have a massive party on site. The what? Sorry.
Can you find out for us and let us know? We'll announce. We'll put it out there.
Yeah, it just keeps costs down for people. It's obviously closer to the middle of summer than any other tournament. So.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely camp out. It's fine with me.
I'll pass on the tent thing. Thank you.
Get an RV, luxury RV, be fine.
I'm getting too old for tenting. Jesus.
Yeah.
I think there's a wigwam place just next door as well. There's probably posh camp, like glamping. You just go there instead.
We did that one year when we went to Oxford for a tournament, and we stayed in one of them yurts. It was nice, man. I about burnt the floor down though, because we, it was cold and we had to keep that fire stoked.
Yeah.
And they had nothing under it to catch anything.
Okay.
So like a couple little embers like fell out and like burnt through the tarp at the bottom of this yurt, man. Thought, well, we're all gonna die. But at least we died.
I don't want to die in a blazing fire in a teepee.
Wasn't my yurt.
I ain't sharing with Josh if we're camping.
John, what do you got, bud? You got anything to add?
Me?
Yeah.
No, I think we've gone through everything there. I just want to say my bit. One thing I really would like, an important thing is the doubles thing for next season. It's,
okay, fair enough.
Just to me, it adds an awful lot to cornhole, and we play doubles. We tend to play doubles and singles every week at the club, and it's so much fun, the doubles. But that's just my opinion.
No. Again, I think it's something we want. It's just trying to make it all flow, and it's something we've probably forgotten this year.
Me and Craig don't want to hold on to this doubles title for the rest of our lives. You know what I mean? We'd like somebody else to have a chance.
Sure.
Not they'll have much chance, but a little bit of a chance.
Josh can rope in a really good American in to carry him to the final.
Me and Liam already proved we were the best doubles in ACL.
I was talking about Kim.
Yeah, but me and Liam got second in doubles, so we're good.
Well, me and Dale surprised everybody. I think the Pettit boys were like, "Oh, we're going to do really well," and they went all the way down to tier 3. And me and
yet they still got a trophy, and me and Liam didn't. How funny is that?
I think we knocked out Dan Lilly, we knocked out Frank, we knocked out Charlie, we knocked out
me and Ian.
Yeah, we had a storm day. We just turned up not caring and said, let's just have fun. And then it's a really good. It is a good format. You're right, John. We should bring it back. Bring back the doubles.
Yeah, let's do some. Hey, let's all work on that, man. And I'll say this: yes, you guys are the owners of the league, and you're doing most of the legwork and all this. But us as clubs scattered throughout the UK, we could do a much better job. Well, let me rephrase that. I'm not going to say a much better job. We're all putting in effort, and we're all trying to find venues and things like that. But it's never going to succeed if we don't continue to do that. We're all going to have to continue to try to help secure venues and find places to play. John, you talk about being up in your area. I'm willing to travel up there. I know some of my guys will travel up there. But again, it's easier for you to find a venue than it is for these guys to find a venue where you are. Just like it's easier for us to find a venue here.
I mean, I know the costs up here are lower than down there for definite. Like Carlisle side as well, which is good for the Scottish guys. It's near for the Newcastle guys, and obviously for us. And the costs are definitely lower in this area. But we'll see.
Well, let's try to find something, man. Let's do it.
The three of us, we're going to travel up to Scotland to go to a wrestling event to showcase cornhole. So we are fairly committed to kind of.
When is this happening?
Well, it was meant to be in May, but they've changed the date that we had in the diary. But they basically have a load of like amateur wrestling, so a bit like WWF rather than
not like proper wrestling.
No, like
Big Daddy and Giant Haystacks type wrestling.
And they have a lot of people queuing out the venue, and a few of them are aware. And they said, "Why don't you bring some boards and throw? While we've got a queue of hundreds of people that love that sort of thing. They like a beer. It's sort of sport that they don't need massive amounts of athleticism for. So we were going to go travel and do a bit of a showcase event and loop in with anyone in Scotland that wanted to come and support it. So there's things like that. We're always looking for. We always do like." The other guys will have the details because I wasn't free the weekend. I think I'm at a festival, but. I know the date moved.
Let's do this.
The date moved. That didn't make it as favourable for us. But yeah, there's things like that we look for to go because again, the good thing about where we were this Saturday is loads of people just came in and had a go. And And, you know, every time you show it to 1,000 people, you might get a few new players. If that gets repeated all over the country, you know, we'll grow. And the more people we get, the more options we have with tournaments, the more we can pay prize money. But and I think I've said this to you before, Josh. If I had a spare £1,000 in the budget, I would rather spend it on new clubs than I would prize money, if you ask me. I appreciate there needs to be a balance there, and there needs to be a bit of consideration for the guys who do turn in, week out. But
So
also, if you,
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
So my argument to that would be, you say, oh, I would rather spend that money for a new club than to put it towards prize money. To me, that would be, with the exception of maybe getting a club, a set of boards and a couple of sets of bags, that to me would be just a poor investment, because if they're not willing to do it anyway, they're not going to keep it.
Yeah.
You can give them all the money in the world, but they're not going to keep it going. I mean, all the other clubs, we're all funding our own stuff.
As did we, Ashby, yeah.
You know what I mean, though? Because you're funding it based on the fact that we fund it because we love to play and we want to keep playing.
Yeah.
If you gave our club money, obviously we're going to put it towards something good, but we already have an established club. You go put that money towards a club to start, and sure, they get 20 people out there that first time, and then you've put in, say, 600 pounds on 2-3 sets of boards and some bags, yeah?
Yeah.
But in a month's time, they've got the same 2 people showing up, and that's it.
Yeah.
So
you're right. You need a couple of keen people who are committed, who maybe have invested it themselves, but I just want to remove any obstacles to them getting going. And money is sometimes one, you know, if that's the only thing stopping them, we'll help take that barrier away. But as it says on the website, you know, speak to us for ideas. We'll help how you grow a club. We got nearly 1,500 quid of grants off a combination of a bank and North West Leicestershire District Council. So if you know where to look, there is money available to fund things. And like you say,
the 2 latest clubs up here both got £500 grants to get them going. So 2 sets of boards each. So that's, other than Featherstone, there's 2 other local ones as well.
Yeah.
And they got grants to pay for the gear. So
yeah, you're right though. You need like an Alistair. Alistair was the reason that, as much as he sort of downplays it, the reason Ashby Baggers got going is because he's annoying and relentless, and he just bothered everyone until they threw bags, and then we all actually quite enjoyed it, and then we started a club, and that was kind of Dale helped him make the first set, because he loves all things America. He helped him make his first set of boards with offcuts from DFS furniture, and there you go. But you are right, and I do take that on board. You know, if people are, I'm not just going to give stuff away for the sake of it, but I just want to remove obstacles for people getting going.
And we appreciate that. Anything else, gents?
Don't think so.
Nothing from me. It's been a pleasure as always.
And if y'all, just in case anybody forgot, that's what it looks like. Y'all will get there one of these days.
I won't.
No, I won't.
Okay, John, you might get there one of these days.
I've got my purple jersey. I'm happy.
Yeah, I wasn't eligible for one.
Oh.
So, yeah, it's a shame. I didn't get to earn pros or a purple jersey. It's a shame. I did win.
I feel like that could be another.
I did win one. If you want to see that one too.
Yeah, I think I might have one of them somewhere.
Yeah, I think you won one too, John, and I like it. But anyway, gents, thanks for coming on. It's always a pleasure, never a chore. Ben, we did your deck around the last time you were on, yeah?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll say goodbye.
See you later. Bye.
See you, Ben.
Bye. Thanks.
John, let's get to yours real quick, man. We'll go ahead and knock it out. I know we had other plans to do this at a different time and kind of do a joint podcast with you, but since we got you on here, we might as well do it.
Go for it.
So, how did you get into cornhole?
I got into cornhole. A mate of mine had been to Texas, came back, told me about it. I made a set of boards. We started the club, and then we found UKCL. Danny.
So, how long have you been playing?
Not far off 2 years now, I think. 2 years.
Right, and your cornhole goal?
Cornwall goal. I don't know. It changes every week. Be in the final in the Nationals. This is the next goal.
The highlights so far?
Purple jersey, ACO.
Your favourite shot?
Still the airmail at the minute. Still got to be the airmail.
Chance for a shameless plug here. What bags do you use?
I think these are nice. Well, these I've actually been refining these, so I've been using the Serpents, but these are slightly different.
Yeah.
So for the finals and from now on, it's either these or these. So it will be charged. It's
I noticed that little stamp in the corner there.
Sorry?
Notice that little stamp in the corner there. ACO approved. So
Yep.
For next year or whenever the ACO is back, people need to throw ACO bags.
Yeah.
Let's support
onwards and upwards.
Let's support some homegrown business and let's go get some. Let's see plenty of people throwing charge bags at the next ACO. That's what we want.
Yeah. I think we should.
I might even have to order a custom set of charge bags for the next ACO event.
Yeah. I think me and Josh will both be throwing charge at the next ACO. That's for certain.
I'll let you try these at the next one. You can see what you think of them.
Yeah. Right. Getting sidetracked again, like we do.
Yep.
Next, favorite player.
Favorite player. Now that changes all the time, but at the minute, favorite player to watch, Richard McDonald.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop watching his games. You know what I mean? It's I was just amazed by him. So definitely.
And so your dream cornhole partner?
It's got to be Craig. He's my doubles partner, and we're a great team, and we have so much fun playing doubles. Couldn't get better.
Yep. Your favourite thing about cornhole?
To be honest, like when I think about it, how many friends I've actually made since starting cornhole. You know, there's other, like, let's say you're going to play golf, you'll go with your mates that you've already got, and you play golf with them. This, you'll go and you'll get a new friend every tournament. So I've made so mmany new friends now. You know, it just makes it such a fun thing to do.
Yeah. And last one we'll go with, because I know I'm pretty sure there's quite a few here, but other hobbies and interests outside of cornhole.
Where do I start?
Yeah. Would it be easier if he just listed the ones he doesn't like?
Well, the big hobby obviously at the minute is cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hey,
shamelessly plug your YouTube channel now.
You mean Just Good Food?
Just Good Food.
Just Good Food on YouTube. Everyone will get on there, subscribe. Lots of content pretty much every week.
So you heard it first on Just Board It. Go watch Just Good Food.
Yeah. I mean, apart from the surfing, the horse riding, the knife making, the rally driving, but cooking.
The knife making is my favourite one, because Forged in Fire was my thingy COVID binge. Just binge watching Forged in Fire.
Yeah, well, that's what it's like. I will be making it on the channel. I'll be making a chef's knife on the channel soon, like a Damascus chef's knife.
Yes, got to be Damascus.
So I'm going to do a whole video just on forging a knife.
If it's not too expensive, I want to buy it.
No, the starting is somewhere around about $1,000 for a handmade Damascus knife. They're expensive. There's a lot of work.
Is it cheaper if we do it ourselves?
Yeah, I mean, you know.
Can we come and you teach us?
Hey, come up. Well, I don't know if I can trust you two with the hot metal.
Look at this face. I'm the most trustworthy person around.
You'll have that beard burn off, man.
Nah, hey, we'll cover it up.
We'll maybe get you up and do a bit of cooking. That might be safe. Might be safer.
Well, maybe.
It'll be messier with me cooking.
Yeah, but we want food to be able to put on the plate when it's all said and done. Graham will have it all eaten.
I make plenty of barbecue. There'll be enough left over, don't worry.
I know he lives. Hey, he made wings by himself, just for himself, and there was like enough on there for the whole cornhole community. All right, John. Always a pleasure, never a chore, bud.
Yep.
We definitely want to come up. We still want to do if you're still willing, we would love to still do a collab podcast, all of us together.
Yeah, definitely.
Just have a good laugh.
It'd be good. I'm like I said, I'm moving house. I'll have a new kitchen, new set, and we'll have to get you guys up and we'll do a video together. It'd be good.
Yeah, for sure. That'd be such a good time, bud.
And
well, thanks for coming on.
Play
thanks
some
for
cornhole as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that goes without saying. Of course, that goes without saying. Hey, thanks for coming on, bud. Thanks for coming and having an opinion.
Thanks for having me on. Thanks. It's been good. It's been good.
Yeah, for sure, man. We'll see you in a month and a half.
Yeah, we'll see you there.
All right.
Cheers, guys.
Latest, mate.
All right, man. Another good show. It was good having Ben on to give his side of it. I love the fact that he came out and was very open with their finances and to know, so that people know where money's going, so that we know when we're investing. Because, ultimately they're investing in the league, but we're investing in them.
Yeah.
Every time we pay, we're investing in them to continue to run a good league. And I'm very appreciative that he came on and was able to give us some financials and was open with that.
And the breakdown, because unless like people just see, this is what we paid in and this is what a venue costs. Some people do just look at it as, that's gone in, that's gone out, where's the rest of the money gone?
Yeah, and I'm not saying I was so naive to not think that they were, that it was costing them money, but it was nice to know that even that extra 100 pounds I've talked about and given out in prize money is kind of scarce right now. And so it was nice. It was good.
And they're spending it on tape.
Yeah. So it was good for them to come out and say that and do that for us. And and then of course it's always good to have John Steins on. Or I say always good to have him on, not like we've had him on before, but it's always good to talk to him because he's always got good, solid, like well thought out opinions about things. He's never coming at it with some type of
he's a very knowledgeable dude.
It's just always, hey man, this is just kind of how I feel about something. So yeah, it was good. For sure, bud. And of course, it was a good weekend. Another good weekend. We're setting 4-2 on the bragging rights games with 3 tournaments to go. So you could still come out on top.
There's a slither of hope. Well, at least next time, hopefully we're not going to end up having to have the game in the car park.
I'll tell you what, at Nationals, I'll give you 2 chances to make up for the car park one.
It's all good. To be fair, like we couldn't do it in the day with you still in the tournament. Is like because that's why I come off throwing bags with you to keep you warm. It's like, hang on, everybody left in the tournament is a bag runner. You playing against me, who plays that dirty block game, is not going to benefit you.
Yeah,
to keep you in tournament shape, like keep you sharp. So that's why I stepped off and Tony stepped in to keep you warm. So that's why we never had our game, because I think it would have been detrimental for you in the tournament. You'd have still beat me in the bragging rights game, and I think you'd have still gone on to win the tournament. But I didn't want to risk me fucking shit up for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that. All right.
It's like with anybody. If I can't win, you want to see your best buds win. So I'm still stoked to see you finally get that W.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. It felt good. It was nice. It was nice for sure.
Yeah.
All right, man. Another good week.
Yeah. Got plenty cornhole to be had this week if you're out there.
Yep.
So Tonight,
Club
as
night tomorrow night
always,
at my house.
it's Craig's. So remember for next Monday.
Yep. Craig's is always on a Monday, man.
Yeah.
Barry and Ashby on a Tuesday.
Coventry on a Wednesday now.
Coventry on a Wednesday now.
The Featherstone Flyers on a Wednesday.
Featherstone on a Wednesday.
Newcastle
on a Thursday.
Newcastle. I don't know about Lincoln Shrimps yet. Manchester, we've not got anything this Friday, but he is looking into a new venue, I've been told. So
nice.
We'll hopefully have more regular, better venue, so I can actually start practicing.
Whitley Bay has taken a bit of time off. They're trying to regroup, and because I think they had a bit of a venue problem as well, because of trying to get people interested and not immediately having to ask for money. So they're trying to work on that. So we're hoping for good things for Charlotte and Whitley Bay.
Yeah. And the other Sunday one, Solent.
Solent on Sunday, that's right.
Yeah. And like you already touched on, they had a good. There was a good turnout from them.
Yeah.
Considering that they were one of the clubs with the furthest distance to travel.
They showed up with what, 7 people?
Yeah, and Dave wasn't there unfortunately this weekend, but they still turned out. So that was great to see.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Well, outside of that, man, I don't have much to go.
Other than just remember, if you want some.
Yeah, let's update everybody on that. So I talked to Anthony, and they're working on the website right now to get merch up on the website. Right now it is bags, but in the next few weeks, we're going to have a bit of merch, I believe. And then a little bit down the line, we'll have the rest of the merch. If people are interested in trying to purchase any merch, please message us. Please message us or message Slicky Baggers and ask them what they have. And I'm sure that they will work with you on ordering and getting some merch still using just B10 for 10% off. Or if you're in Europe and you want to use just B10, use Euro Trash 10 or ETC 10, isn't it? It's ETC 10.
Use just B10.
No, I'm just saying if you're in Europe, you don't want to use just B10. Use ETC 10. Yeah. I don't really care. Let's just get the Slicky Baggers guys some business. They're good dudes. They have good stuff.
Yeah, and the raffle has opened today.
Yes, it did open today.
It's started today, so
and they do make
10 Swiss francs, 1 of 16 spots, a chance to win. I think it's the fish series they're starting off with.
I think this week is fish.
The herringbone. What bags?
Well, hold on, I'll tell you right now. Nope. I thought I had it. I don't. Never mind. I think it is the fish series. But anyway.
Yeah.
Who cares?
Yeah. It's 10 francs to get a set of bags.
For sure. All right. Well, in the meantime, just board it.
Yeah.
I'm Josh.
I'm Graham.
And until next time, just board it. Cheers, bud.
Bye.